Want to learn how to make jam, can, and pickle everything? All that and more coming right up.
Veronica, what are you eating? Berries? Oh. So in our yard, we have a lot of what's called Western service berries, which are like pretty much a Saskatoon berry, very edible fruit, and they are delicious. And we also have tons of wild raspberries and honeysuckle. We were really fortunate when we purchased this property that we didn't destroy a lot of the native habitat. We cleared out the area where we wanted to build our house and have our maintained yard, but a lot of our yard has remained wild, and all of this was here when we bought it. So we don't plan on getting rid of it. If anything, we plan on maintaining it and
You missed one.
enjoying the berries. Look at that poor kitty. Put her down.
You feed them hay?
Yeah.
Put it in the bucket. Strawberries. Want a strawberry? You got so many. I know it's getting heavy, eh? Wow. That's a big one. No, look at those carrots. Aren't those crazy?
Caught behind Venetian blinds, out of reach for the city line.
The smell of sweet peas, homegrown in the garden from seed, nothing better. It makes you feel so good. Look, kiddo. Do they smell good?
Yeah.
I've been running.
So definitely not an experienced canner, but we got all our stuff ready this year and hopefully we can give a better explanation.
What I thought was gone was sitting in my pocket.
All right, so we got our Saskatoon berries and freshly picked wild strawberries, and we're gonna make some jam. Okay, Veronica, I want you to squish this all in. I want you to go like this and work it and squish it. There you go. Just keep working it. Okay, first things first, sterilization of the jars. So I'm gonna take the lids and put them into a separate a saucepan here just to start heating them up. And then I'm gonna take my jars and put them in the water to sterilize them and get them up to a boil. And then we're gonna prep the jam. Note, your lids do not need to boil, they just need to be warm. You always want to sterilize your jars first, so once they're done boiling, I will pop those out and we will put the jam into them, and then they'll go back in the hot water canner. I just have all my other ingredients, so my sugar, my pectin, my lemon juice, and my berries in my little Dutch oven here, and we're gonna make that boil. So let's heat that right up and make some jam. All right, so this next process you're gonna wanna try and make as quick as possible. You want your jars to stay warm, your lids to stay warm, your jam to stay warm. You're gonna pull your sterilized jars, put them on the counter. I'm gonna fill with the jam using the ladle. And about 1/2 inch from the top, I'm gonna fill them, and then we'll throw the lids on them and put them back in the hot water canner and bring them up to a boil with the lid on top, and hopefully that can help seal the jars. So one thing I've kind of noticed, rule of thumb, most recipes call for 10 minutes in the hot water canner once you've returned to a full boil. So once it gets to a boil, we'll set a timer, and once that 10 minutes up, we'll pull them out and let the jar sit. Trying some different pickle recipes this year. I find when you're doing hot water canning, sometimes the pickles get super soggy. They still taste good, but I just like that crunchy Bic dill pickle. So a girl we were watching had actually recommended taking your pickles, chopping off the ends, and letting them soak in a salt water brine. So I'm gonna do that. So this is the salt water brine. I still have to go out and pick some more in the garden, and we'll add them in. But yeah, I cut off the ends, and I'm gonna let them sit in there. And yeah, we're gonna try out a different recipe from the ones last year. So the pickles are gonna be next. And then we got the jalapeno peppers. We have mild and hot. And I have the carrots to do. And then we're also still gonna have to pick all of our potatoes and squash from the garden as well. Kitchen's kind of a mess, as you can see. So much fun when it's canning season. But you know what? The fruits of our labor, I can't wait to enjoy it all winter long. All right, it happened so quick, but my lids already went pop, 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 pop. So that's a good sign. We'll let them sit, cool down, and we have jam. So the actual canning process itself with the hot water bath, it doesn't really take that long. It's the prep. It's the cleaning of the vegetables. It's the cutting everything up. When you're doing the pickles, it's getting the garlic and the dill all ready, and your brine, which is gonna actually go into the jars to preserve the pickles. So the jam we made was wild Saskatoon berries, wild raspberry, or sorry, I shouldn't say wild raspberries, they are from our raspberry bushes. And the type of strawberry I planted were a wild strawberry, so I guess they can be considered wild, but they were grown in our raised beds. All right, it's time to peel the carrots. All right, so I'm almost ready here to start canning the carrots. The last thing I need to do is make the brine. So when I do the brine, I use white vinegar and water, and I do a half and half mixture. So I make it completely equal for the amount of jars that I'm gonna make. It just depends on the size of jars you're making. I kind of eyeball it. I use a big saucepan and I stick everything in it. In the brine as well, I also add coarse pickling salt. You could use kosher salt. I got some dill cut up and some garlic and some chili flakes, and if you want, you could also get some sort of pickling spice to add in. But we're doing a whole bunch of carrots this year. We did a whole bunch last year. We love our pickled carrots. We go through them like crazy. So let's get this process started. All right, so we're doing 2 jars with carrot and jalapeno peppers, just to experiment. Oh, pool days.
I go in.
The smell of fresh rain. Loving it. There's a little bit of hail mixed in there, but you know what? We'll take it. It's been so dry this summer. And the smell of smoke